American people demand that the deep state no longer control this country.
Except this is the deep state. This is the deep state. Look, the reason I'm not all that interested in the Jeffrey Epstein thing is because we don't have a justice system that will do anything about it. Look at Diddy. We just don't. And then everybody likes to say, well, Trump said that he would release it. But people forget that Trump also said that that's a little bit more complicated there because people have doctored lists. And the other thing is everybody thinks, well, if they're on the list, it means they did something to children. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean everybody that's listed would be guilty of crimes against children. So it's, again, the Epstein thing has been so convoluted. And what I realize is that here we are in this age of this booming technology where the American people themselves can be their own voice and be heard. And yet still, but we are silenced because these new deep state people, like that's the thing. People think we just need to get rid of the deep state. The deep state, do you think they're not still recruiting? You think this isn't part of the deep state? Do you think that all these big podcasters aren't part of the deep state? Yes. And then what they become is they become the voice for us. Why do they need to be our voice when we live in an era when we can be our own voice? But I don't need Steve Bannon. I don't need Jack Posobiec. I don't need Charlie Kirk. I don't need any of these podcasters to be what the MAGA voice is. Yet what happens, because they're given all of these followers while the American people are suppressed, is that becomes the issue. And then mainstream media says, oh, MAGA's upset about this. How can you ever know what truly MAGA feels? Because you've been suppressing the everyday MAGA people since day one. These people are part of the deep state. While they say they're MAGA, they're part of the deep state. Are they part of the problem? And part of me, I just want to move on, you know, after sitting back and realizing this paramilitary operation that's going on, that Candace Owen, Dave Smith, Rogan, Tucker Carlson, all of these people that many MAGA people had come to trust. And I mean, I don't trust anybody, but you know, this paramilitary operation that they've demoralized our country. They put our country down while they act like they're putting our country first. And it's all just an operation to get people to hate Israel. Okay. It's a total Nazi agenda. Okay. And yet that's supposed to be the voice of MAGA. Please. And these are the people that have the bully pulpit. Yet think about it. So with technology today, there should be no reason that Bannon or anybody else has to be the voice for MAGA. We can be our own voice, but we're not allowed to, because these people, which is why I see them as the deep state, have decided, no, we still have to control the people. We can't let them be heard, so we'll be their voice. We'll say we're MAGA. And I'm tired of all of it. You know, I mean, of course, whatever trends on X will be from these people because of all of their followers. But how do you know that's what all MAGA people think? The true MAGA voice, which is the real American citizens, have been being suppressed forever. And I don't anticipate that will change. I don't care what anybody does. That will not change because there's still deep state people, and some of those deep state people are claiming to be MAGA. And what would happen if, you know, the Epstein list is released, is everybody would say everybody on there is guilty, which isn't fair, but that's what everybody would do. And then they would spend the rest of Trump's term just tearing all these podcasters that are just, you know, not MAGA, but want to have just hijacked MAGA and these politicians that have hijacked MAGA. And it's like, I just want the country, at this point, I'm just like, I just want the country to move on. I understand I would like the accountability with Epstein and all of that, but we don't have a justice system that will do anything. If that's not obvious with Diddy, then why waste the time with the rest of it? I mean, maybe at some point, if we can ever really clean out all this, if we can ever give the American people truly the voice so they can speak for themselves, so we don't have to have all of these fake MAGA influencers being what our voice is, being our voice, and actually our voice actually be our voice, then maybe, things can get cleaned up and then the Epstein stuff can be dealt with. But at this point, I'm just tired of listening to all of these people demoralize our country. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker, the last, week or two, both of them just carrying on about how horrible AIPAC is, yet AIPAC literally got 2 communist squad members out. I mean, because of AIPAC, we're 2 less communists are in the House, which was, I forget their names, Cori Bush and the other one. They spent billions of dollars to get those 2 out, to lobby, to campaign and run, run campaigns so that they wouldn't get their seats again. So, I mean, then to hear all this depression because we nuked Iran's nuke, or we took Iran's nuke sites out. It's just like they demoralize our country. They want to make Americans hate America. And then you listen to the jackass Tim Dillon talk about how selfish Americans are and they don't care about anybody, and Rogan, and they play this propaganda that is Hamas media that is coming out of Gaza, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of it. All of them hate our country, while they hijacked our movement, and it shows, because if you're truly about MAGA, then you would want the MAGA people to be heard. But no social media will let us be heard. So to me, we're not in a country where it's about the American people. It's about these people who say we're the MAGA voice, but you're not. You're not. You want to make the next 4 years about this Epstein stuff, and yet what justice system will do anything about that? It's been convoluted so much because of these deep state people. And on top of that, we don't have a justice system at this time that will do anything about it. We just don't. So I just would like to move on, and maybe at some point down the road they can address the Epstein stuff, but that's why it's not a priority to me. But everybody is being made to think that all of MAGA believes this is a priority. No, this is some priority to these fake MAGA influencers that hijacked our movement, who are fine with us regular Americans being suppressed. They could care less, which means they don't care about our values. Because they're fine, because they want to be controlling what the Trump administration believes we want. And they're not an example of it. What they're an example of is these people came in, some of them, and they're literally they're literally a paramilitary operation. In the age of all this technology where your voice can be heard, why do you need somebody else to be your voice for you? Well, those people that say that they're the voice of MAGA, they are the deep state.